So if you're still suffering with lack and longing and feeling out of place or feeling like you lack purpose, you're still in 3D predominantly. And there is a way out of it. This is responsible for 90% of everything we're manifesting. So tonight I want to talk about achieving 4D awareness. And 4D awareness is where healing begins. So let me give you some context. All human beings, we come into this incarnation and we are operating in 3D consciousness. Okay, so the conditioning phase of early childhood is something that we cannot avoid, right? The caregiver environment that we're born into, we elect on a soul level. We choose these parents, we choose this environment for karmic reasons. And these conditions are usually the most favorable ones that will allow for the best learning, the most, perhaps the appropriate circumstances, I want to say, not the most difficult, but sometimes it might feel that way, but the most appropriate circumstances that are really going to establish the foundation for us to learn, to heal, to grow, to neutralize karma, and to evolve as a soul. That's what we're here on the human plane to do. And so, when we talk about 3D, we talk about dense reality, my experience of myself as separate from other things, right? 3D is we feel disconnected from the world around us. We feel like we're on our own. We don't know if there's something beyond our five senses. And so this is 3D reality. And to move into 4D, and 4D is a expanded awareness. It's an expanded level of consciousness. This is how we do psychic readings and mediumship work and intuitive work, is we are expanding our awareness beyond 3D, beyond what I can see, touch, feel, hear, and experience the tangible evidence of. Okay, so in the realm of the unknown, which is the intuitive work, is the realm of the unseen, being able to channel messages and bring information forward so that we can answer questions, we can connect people not only to what's about to happen, but to their deeper truth, the deeper truth of what we all have access to. It's just a matter of undoing our conditioning so we can feel the full impact of whatever that truth is and be able to trust it. Okay, so moving into 4D requires a willingness, it requires awareness. It also requires, an understanding that being in 3D is creating suffering, right? Being in this 3D consciousness where we don't have access to a higher power, we don't have a connection to spirit, we don't have a spiritual lens from what we're experiencing. We're really in the pain and perhaps the suffering of the human experience. Okay, so we want to be able to come out of suffering, which is healing. That's what we're all here for, is healing work, right? We want to know that things are going to work out, that we're going to get the messages we need in order to bring us reassurance and comfort and peace and so on. We want to heal. We're looking for that sense of inner peace and deeper fulfillment and reassurance. And we can actually create that for ourselves by expanding our awareness, by coming out of 3D and moving into 4D. 4D awareness is where true healing begins. Okay, it's where times starts to feel more fluid. We start to feel less attached, less entrenched in our pain, and more able to create a sort of a gap between the experience we're having and what we're going to do with the experience we're having. So that pause that says, I'm in a reaction and I'm going to explore my emotions so I can make a responsible choice on how I'm going to behave. So this is the beginning of 4D awareness. This is where our intuition starts to come online, right? This is where we start to feel, sense, and experience things that are beyond our 3D awareness. And so many of you that come here week after week, I know, are already sort of dabbling in 4D. You're already feeling your intuitive gifts come online. You're already sensing, knowing, trusting your gut feelings, trusting the first mind, which is in the gut feeling. I'm coming off the heels of the first week of the Way of the Mystic. So we talked a lot about developing intuition and really doing inner child work, healing work, to establish that foundation of trust, so that we can start to come online with our intuition. And why is this important? Because our intuition is never wrong. Our intuition is always guiding us in the right direction for the evolution of our human experience, for the neutralization of karma, the evolution of our soul, and really to make the most of this human life so that we can live peacefully, fulfill our potential, and be content with the life experience that we're having. Okay, so if you're still suffering with lack and longing and feeling out of place or feeling like you lack purpose or not being lost and disconnected from a sense of purpose, you're still in 3D predominantly. Okay. And that's okay. That's what we all came here to experience. And there is a way out of it by slowly bringing awareness to the pain that you're experiencing, the suffering that you've perpetuated by resisting the pain or resisting the lesson in that the pain is presenting to you. And just learning to take responsibility for that through, changing your beliefs. This is one way we can do that, is by shifting our belief system. And I say this over and over again, our beliefs influence every cell in our bodies. So we have to change our belief system in order to have a new perspective, in order to have a new disposition, in order to even manifest new circumstances, because the subconscious mind is responsible for 90% of everything we're manifesting. So when we change our beliefs, conscious and unconscious, we are really setting ourselves up for effortless success. Okay. And I say that, of course, with the understanding that it doesn't always feel effortless, but when we actually do the work to change our subconscious beliefs and bring them in alignment with what we consciously desire, it can feel effortless. It's possible for you to manifest the things that you deeply desire in an effortless way by challenging your belief system. So this is how we start to develop 4D awareness. Is now I'm shifting my belief system. I'm opening myself up to spiritual practices. I'm starting to meditate. I'm creating and there's a question here about how to heal from something, which I'm going to get to in a moment. I'm opening myself up to, feeling energies, being more sensitive by creating this mindfulness practice, by doing some deep breath work every day, or connecting to a higher power in some way that resonates for you. There's 10,000 ways to God. So I don't have a specific pathway. I only have the path that worked for me, that's allowed me to heal my body physically, my destructive thinking that I suffered with, for many, many years, and some of my unresolved emotions from my childhood, right? So I'm here as a product of this work and sharing from direct experience the things that will allow you to move into 4D, so you feel like you have more awareness and more capacity for action. The one thing I loved about the comment that I got on the video this week was this first step is awareness, which is 100% true. Awareness is a big first step, but the most important thing we can do is to start implementing the awareness. Okay, so by taking these actions, by taking responsibility for our beliefs, we can only do that if we sit down to really look at them and challenge them and see how they're affecting us in our lives. If you have a belief that, there's not enough money, you're going to create the evidence of that belief. If you have a belief that it's hard to find love, you're going to create the evidence of that belief. And so we have to be willing to challenge our beliefs, and to find it within us to even be willing to shift that belief and say, I'm willing to believe something different, even if it just begins with the willingness, right? So this is so important. Willingness kind of cracks that door open and allows for a new frequency to emerge, a new energy to come through, a new manifestation, new evidence to arrive in your life. Even just the willingness does that. It kind of is the key that opens doors to higher realms of consciousness. So willingness is important. And then the implementation of the tools that I teach here on a regular basis, whether you watch me live or you watch the replay or you watch some of our evergreen content, it's all about inner work and taking radical self-responsibility for the quality of your life, so that you can change your own circumstances, and have access to your own intuition. This is so, so, so important. And what I'm channeling for you, all those that have questions tonight, what I'm doing is connecting with your higher self, connecting you to your own intuition, and confirming what you might already know, even if you're not conscious of it. Okay. And that's the beauty of this work, is that it really distills this idea that we are all operating in universal intelligence. And it's just a matter of what paradigm am I in? Am I in 3D? If I'm in 3D, I don't have access to higher realms. I probably don't have access to my higher truth or my inner wisdom or my inner knowing, because I'm in survival mode. I'm stuck in this fear-based consciousness. And as I take the steps to take personal responsibility, to heal mentally, emotionally, physically, I start to expand my awareness. I move into 4D, and I integrate and anchor my experience of 4D by implementing the tools that I'm describing: the meditation, this subconscious rewiring, the actions, the aligned actions that are going to allow me to create a life I love, the actions that sort of make sense for someone who wants to create a certain reality. Okay, this is what we mean by alignment. We act as if it's already done. And then we, of course, with time and inner work and continued practice, we can move into 5D, which perhaps will be a conversation for another night. 5D is the realm of unconditional love, where everything feels effortless, where intuition no longer becomes something that we feel we have over here on the side, or that we can access on occasion, or that we have to be in a certain mode in order to access. It's just a lived experience. We operate as open channels, receiving, giving and receiving love, and giving and receiving information. And this is the realm of true deep healing. It's also, I believe, 5D is the realm of the neutralization of all our karma, and therefore the human experience becomes no longer necessary. Okay, so that's my talk for tonight. It's very important, if you're on a healing journey, that beyond awareness, we need to move into implementation. So the integration of the awareness that you're receiving, as you start to receive messages tonight, think about how they apply in your life. Think about how you can put certain things into motion in order to take responsibility for the trajectory you want to be on. Okay, so I'm going to give predictions, and I'm also going to give spiritual guidance on how you can implement this advice so that you can shift your circumstances and feel empowered, which is my wish for you and my wish for all beings everywhere.